So I'm now joined with Sean Stemley all the way in Nashville. How are you, Sean?
Good, good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on our show. We've been big fans of yours for a long time, and we've wanted you on
Really?
the podcast from day one. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Honestly, like I didn't know that it was I've never been across the pond or whatever, so I didn't know that I knew that there was a couple of people over there because I've gotten DMs, but I didn't know it was like multiple people that listen to my stuff over there. That's really cool. Thank you.
no, absolutely. Yeah. You're becoming like quite a household name across here. I know a lot of people that's been across for CMA Fest or been to Nashville and seen you perform there, and like live in the UK and have says like we want Sean to come across to the UK.
Man, I wish. Well, we have to figure that out at some point. I don't know how that works. I do this independently now. So I have to figure out those logistics. I've never crossed an ocean to play a show ever. So yeah, we'll figure that out eventually. I'd love to get over there. I hear it's a pretty cool place. A lot different than Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely. Like absolutely, and country music's popping off in the UK right now. We're like, for example, Luke Combs just announced a show. He's sold out Wembley Stadium 3 nights in a row. Sold out two stadiums in Scotland and two
That's like
nights
a
in
soccer
Ireland.
stadium
And it's like Wembley's like our big soccer
or
stadium.
football. Football.
90,000 people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
So yeah, that's big. But what we want to talk to you about today is the first question we love to start with everybody is where did it all begin for you? You love music and your journey into your musical career.
Um, I'm gonna try to put it as short as possible because it's a long roller coaster. But I've always been a music fan. I grew up on a lot of rock and a lot of country as well, like early 2000s and late 90s countries what I grew up on the radio. And but it was mainly rock. Both my parents were rock heads. My dad was obsessed with Van Halen, Motley Crue, bands like that. My mom was more of like a Journey, REO Speedwagon type woman. She introduced me to Foreigner. That's still one of my favorite classic rock bands. I love Foreigner. It's the only rock band that I like the saxophone in. I think it fits in that. Other than that, saxophone does not belong in rock music. Just announcing that. And yeah, I didn't really like do it myself until I was about 19 or 20. I was in the cab of a tractor in the river bottoms, and I started singing along to a Brooks and Dunn song. And I was like, okay, well, this doesn't suck. I don't know if it's good, but it definitely doesn't suck. So I just didn't think much of it. And I just started, I'd spend 10, 12 hours on a tractor every day back then. So like I had to entertain myself. Like, I got tired of beatboxing and whistling. So I started singing. And then I made a Vine account and I posted on there once and it did well. And I was like, okay, well, now I really know it doesn't suck. But it was only 6 seconds. And it was never realistic to make it a career at that time. Like I was just messing around just for entertainment. But not too long after that, I started going to church, to this like mega church with like 5,000 members. And I remember getting a feeling like I need to use my like newfound skill in here. And it was one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. I went in there and asked how you like how do I sing here? And the lady looked at me like I was crazy because it was like a thing where it was like word of mouth. I was like, I want to sing here. And the worship pastor was there at the time. And I went to his office and we had like a 2 hour meeting. And he was like, okay, man, you're on vocal team A. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, it means you're going to be singing every weekend on vocal team A, like with the big boys here. I was like, I've never sang in front of a crowd ever in my life. So if it wasn't for David, I would have never cracked that egg, that first like singing in front of, because every service is 2,500 people. So like immediately
Wow.
just in our Easter services and Christmas services were at an arena. So like I got that out of the way. And then after a while, I stopped singing in church because like I just got too busy. I was supposed to take over my family business. That was like my plan. That was the plan that was set out for me my whole life. And I just got too busy with that. And I probably shouldn't have stopped, but I did. And that was like a year went by that I started doing that. And then I met a guy at the gym named Austin Peckham. And he hit me up one day saying, "Hey man, do you want to come to the house and like jam? Like, I know you can sing and stuff." And I was like, "Okay, that's random, but whatever." So we went over there and, just jammed, and we made a YouTube video of Holy by FGL. I did not want to do it. I remember dreading it. I was like, that's not my thing. And it did well. Still didn't think much of it because it was still very unrealistic. Like, nobody does this where I'm from. Nobody comes to Nashville. They didn't at the time. They do now. But, time went by, a few months went by, and he was like, "Hey man, you want to come to Nashville with me and try to write songs?" And I was like, "Write songs? What do you mean? Like, I don't know how that works." And I agreed to do it, like with my doubts. I'd never been to Nashville. I grew up 2.5 hours from here, and I've never been here. I didn't travel much growing up. I always had to work. And I remember we got to Nashville, and we went to a place called the Listening Room at its OG location. And I remember sitting down listening to these dudes play songs that they created. And I was like, I can do that. I think I can do that. I didn't know how to play guitar, didn't know anything like that. But after that trip, I went back home and obsessed over it. Like, just fell in love with it. Luckily, my stepdad had an old Alvarez guitar, like super old, beat up Alvarez. And I spent night after night after night teaching myself how to play acoustic guitar till my fingers would bleed every day, because I wanted to build the calluses on them or whatever. I knew you had to do that. And it turned into staying up all night trying to figure out how to write songs, and then getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work every day. For 8 months, I did that. And finally, I was like, I got to choose. Like, if I'm going to try to do this, like, everybody's going to call me crazy. I know that for a fact, besides my mom, because you know how moms are. Like, they're with you every step of the way usually. But I decided to try it while I think I was 23 years old. I was like, I'm going to try it while I'm still young. And I remember it was the scariest moment of my life telling my grandpa that I was leaving, because that was like, I'm the only person that could take over the family business. Like, my story is not like a lot of other guys. Like, I feel like most guys are like, yeah, I was living in my car and had nothing. And then I, finally made it. And that, like, I had my whole life, like, I was guaranteed to make great money. Like, I already was. I chose to come here and be broke for a while. But yeah, man, I did it in 2017. It was July of 2017, I think. And I told my grandpa if I didn't make it happen in 3 years, I'd come back and take over the family business. And we made it happen in a year and a half. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a shortened version of it, believe it or not. But it's just a whirlwind of events, man. I'm super blessed with how my journey went and how fast it went. And I know people come here for 10 years before they get a record deal, but it's been a God thing, man, straight up. Like, and whenever I first moved here, I was told something by a guy. He told me, your network is your net worth. And I took that to heart. I was like, okay, well, network, cool. So I went out all the time, not just to party, but like to meet people, because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
Besides Austin. And I met what was my original band. We toured together for 4 years. I met almost every celebrity that I know now doing that stuff. Like, that dude was right whenever he told me that. Like, you can be the best singer, songwriter, guitar player in the world, but if you don't know anybody, you don't build a network, you don't work your butt off, it's not going to happen. So yeah, man, that's like a broke down version of how it went.
I think that's so true as well about Nashville for like people that's never been, but heading up to places like Music Row and going into like Red Door and like Losers and bumping into people like that you speak to, like that you just
Back
meet
then it was
musicians
Losers.
everywhere. Eh?
Back then, Losers was the spot
Right.
on Mondays and Tuesdays. It took me a while to get used to that too. Like we're going out on Monday night. Like, that's like the exact opposite of blue collar, you know. But yeah, man, Red Door grew a lot after that. But back then, Losers was like on Monday night. Whiskey Jam was at Winners. Everybody went to Losers afterwards. Everybody. It's not quite like that anymore, but that was I caught the end of the heyday of all that, man. It was such a great time. I had a great time.
And we'll come back and talk about some of the people that you met. But so what was it like moving to Nashville? Like from, I know you were only 2.5 hours away, but from like quite a small town going to Nashville, how did you cope with the change?
I still haven't. I still haven't. I miss the country with my whole soul every day. Like, it's weird still living in a city. I've been here for 8 years and it's still just, I can honestly say I still haven't gotten used to it, but it's the resources here that make it worth it, you know, and the people and the network and all that stuff. But eventually I will move back, whether it's west, I'll probably go either west of Nashville or Kentucky, but I'll go back. It's just like, for now, we got to stay here, do all this. Like, it's just very crowded here. And I'll never get used to that, man. It's just noise all the time. Like, I think the country boy in me will never adapt to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, roll back to 2022 when you released your debut album, Product of a Small Town. And I think that is a perfect name for an album, like the title track that was on there. Can we talk about a track that's on there called Come Back to Bed? Because that's the song that put you on our radar.
Okay. So Come Back to Bed was how do you explain it? It was like a trial almost. Like our plan was to do like a Jason Aldean type thing. And the label said, okay, well, let's start with a Burning It Down type song. And I was like, I've never wrote a song like that before, you know, because I know my grandma was watching, you know, like that's my mom's watching. So like the next week after they asked me to do that, we wrote Come Back to Bed and recorded it within 2 weeks. Like they were just like, yep, this is it, blah, blah. And I didn't expect it to do much just because I wasn't used to it. And it blasted off and did its thing. And then COVID happened, which stuck people in the house with each other, you know, all day. So that song was perfect timing for that. Like there's not much good about COVID, but that was a good thing with that. But yeah, man, I mean, that song did more than I could ever imagine. Like I never pictured myself singing songs like that. So, but I always loved, I forgot to mention, I grew up with a lot of R&B music, a lot of hip hop music as well. And I always loved R&B, man, like singing it and stuff too. So putting out a song like that, like if you ask me, like as far as writing goes, that song's an R&B song. It's
Right.
just it's country because I have an accent, you know.
Yeah.
But like if I broke it down, it's an R&B song. So it was kind of cool to experiment with that and being successful with it.
I think at that time as well, like there was that sort of crossover beginning between like R&B, hip hop, country, and then where you were starting to become into your subgenres at that point as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, country music is such a broad term, you know what I'm saying? Like anything that I sing, they're going to call country. Like people can call whatever they want. I'm just writing songs that I love, you know.
Yeah.
They can put it under any genre they want to. It usually just turns out to be country though, just because of who I am, you know. So it's the authenticity that counts, man, over everything when it comes to writing. Like somebody that hates R&B can listen to an authentic song that's like that and love it still because it's authentic. That's what it all comes down to, man, when it comes to music.
Absolutely. And one of your songs that was a huge viral hit was Z71, about the truck.
I've never heard it called Z71. I've never heard that. That's how y'all say Z?
Yeah, Zed.
Z71. That has a
Yeah.
better ring to it. Dang, Z71. I've never heard it said that. I said that way. That's really cool.
Yeah, like, and it's ironic because we don't have them type of trucks across here in the UK. Like, we've got maybe about 10 trucks and like just different brands and stuff, but we don't actually have that one specific type of truck. But can we talk about that song and the success that song's had?
Yep. So before music, my hobby was building trucks, like building diesel trucks. I guess in the UK they don't have that, but we used to build 1,000 horsepower, 800 horsepower, 600, 700, whatever it might be, diesel trucks. And it's just rednecks with money, man. That's just pretty much what that is. But yeah, we did that. Like, I had a group of friends. We all built trucks together, built other people's trucks for them, stuff like that, and had a great time with it. That was like what I did during the summer, whenever it wasn't hunting season and all that stuff. It's all I did. And so I know the truck world a little better than the average country artist. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to write a truck song that wasn't cookie cutter. Like, it was more the language of, I call it Bubba, the dude in the crowd that's blue collar, pays to be there. Like, he actually knows stuff about this stuff, Bubba. And so I wanted to write a truck song for that person, not for suits in Nashville and all that stuff. Like, no tailgates, no getting a girl in the bed on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to get outside that realm and talk like actual truck talk in a song. And that song was the first Zoom write that I ever did during COVID. I did not want to do it. I was like, I'm not writing on Zoom, not doing it. And I did it. And I was angry at the time because I was just like, everybody was pissed. Nobody wants to be trapped in their house, especially not dudes like me that like to be outside in the woods all the time. Like, nobody wants to be trapped in their house. I was like, man, let's write a truck song that just like, that nobody here understands. And I've had every truck you can think of, man. Like, I think I've had 14, but I've had every brand besides like Toyota, every diesel brand. And I was thinking of titles, and titles for truck songs are tough because it's so niche. And like, unfortunately, there's words for certain brands that just don't belong in songs, like Cummins. I can't use that in a hook on a song. Are you serious? And like, the other one's Power Stroke. I can't use that. I was like, well, I had a Duramax Z71 a while back. I was like, Z71 sounds like a cool title. Like, it sounds badass. So I told them that it was Andy Albert and Brett Tyler. Luckily, it was them because both of them are great songwriters. I wrote both my gold records with Andy Albert, Come Back to Bed and Z71. And they kind of helped me put together the melodies. They didn't know anything about the substance, so I took care of that part. And we put that song together in 45 minutes and didn't think anything of it because there was so much going on in the world at the time. I put that song in the back burner for months. It sat. And one day I was sitting in my garage just going over the catalog because that was months still. We hadn't played shows. I was like looking for something to do, like a song to record or something. And I ran across that one, and all I had was a work tape. I was like, we need to make like a cheap demo of this just to see. So we had a $500 demo made. I had a sinus infection at the time. So I sounded like, it's the demo. I had a sinus infection. It's rough, but I got that demo done. And I just made a TikTok account not long before that. The label made me make one. And I would check it like every 2 weeks. So I knew that the label did not want to cut that song. So I was like, okay, I'll let it live on TikTok, this demo. And I leaked it at like midnight one night just for something to do. Just like a zigzag audio video. And that was it. Hardly any context behind it. Didn't check it for like 2 weeks. And I had noticed like an Instagram follower increase. I was like, this seems random. And I randomly checked TikTok. And I remember seeing the notification thing just, It just blew up. I was like, what the heck? What is going on here? So I go to that video. It's got all these views, blah, blah. And the craziest part was it had 11,000 individual videos made with the audio, with the demo audio. I was like, whoa, like we got something here. So I kind of like forced the label's hand, because they would always say like, let's let a song show itself on TikTok. And it just happened to be that one, but they didn't want to record. So it was a giant, like, what's the appropriate thing to say? It's like it was a giant like mess pretty much. But we finally recorded it, and it was successful without hardly any DSP love. I think it got on one playlist for like 2 weeks or something. Other than that, that's the special part about that song, is it's organically gold. Like, that song did what it did and still does what it does completely organically. It's never had any radio time. It's never had, I didn't put hardly anything into advertising it, like money wise, like nothing. Like, that's what I was telling you about authenticity, man. Like, overall, that's what it's about. Like, that's why that song is a special part of my career, because I proved to myself, like, I might have proved to other people, but most importantly, I proved to myself that authenticity is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and staying true to yourself, and like making songs, because I think that's what you get with your music, because you sort of, people might not realize that you live that lifestyle that you're singing about. You come from them like country roots. You live that country lifestyle.
Yeah. That's one of the tough parts. There's so many, like, it's like the boy who cried wolf. Everybody says they're this and that, but like, not everybody is. So it's about like, and it's weird to prove your countryness. I don't think that's something that you should have to do. Like, I kind of just mind my own. Like, I don't go around like getting in other people's business, all that stuff. And I live the life that I live every day just because that's what I want to live, not because I
Yeah.
think I have to prove it to anybody. But I don't even know what country means anymore. I don't know, like, people measure country by certain things, and I just don't know exactly where it stands anymore, to be honest with you. Everybody's like, I'm more country than you. No, I'm more country than you. It just doesn't make any sense. But like, overall, just be you, and that's it. Like, and being me just happens to be hunting, fishing, shooting my bow, shooting my longbow, being in nature almost every day of my life, um, training my dogs, loving my wife. That's just what I do. I don't do it to be country, but
Yeah.
I guess it is, though.
That's great. But going back and talking about that song, you've just re-recorded it, and you had the boosted version with Colt Graves on there. Like, where did that idea come from, and how did you get working with Colt?
So I've had that idea for that song for a long time, doing like the hip hop feeling with it, but we never, like I said, like, it never got love from the side of like people that recorded it with me. So like, we just left it alone. So I had to wait until a re-record clause was up to do this. That's why it took a little bit. So whenever that was up, me and my current team were like, okay, we need to sit down and re-record this, even though it's not done in country music hardly ever. Let's try it. And I was like, okay. So I thought about like a hip hop version. There's actually 3 versions that we recorded, but for the hip hop version, I was thinking about it, and I just met Colt like a year before that, and he's from Owensboro, Kentucky, like 45 minutes from where I'm from, and he's a great rapper, man. Like, I'm a Colt Graves supporter. I will boost him up as much as I can because he's a great guy, and he is a very skilled rapper, man. Like, very good. I was like, his flow would go perfect. It's like an old school Yellow Wolf flow. it would go perfect with it, and it kind of matches the vibe because he's from around where I'm from, so he gets that lifestyle kind of. So he was my first choice. I texted him, and he responded right away. Had the verse done in 6 hours after that text. 6 hours. Usually it takes at least 6 days. He's like, all right, I think I got it done. I was like, what? It was on a Saturday too. So yeah, that's how Colt came about on there. Like, he's been my buddy for a while now, and he doesn't have nearly the monthly listeners that he should have, in my opinion. So it was kind of a win-win. Like, I got his rap skills for that song, and he got more exposure. That was kind of the plan. And I gave him a little chunk of it, and yeah, he killed it. I don't know if that could have gone any better as far as like from a musical standpoint.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. And like there's an EP coming out, Overhauled. And what's the other two versions going to be like on that one?
One is just my version of like the OG version. Like we everything is re-recorded. Nothing's copied. We re-recorded everything. It was just like I co-produce all my stuff now. So like I'm involved in everything. I make up a lot of the parts, this and that. So like the OG version is my take on it. It's exactly how I wanted to record it. And then the other one is an acoustic version. Because we did something called the Garage Series back in the day with that song on it. And I've had people ever since being like, hey man, can you release the Garage Series audio like on Spotify and all that? And it wasn't within my power to do that. So I couldn't. So I'm finally giving them the acoustic version. It's just, I call it stock. Like we had to come up with clever names for all these versions, like boosted, this and that. I call that stock because it's just how it was wrote. Like it's bare bones, exactly how we wrote it. So that's the 3 different versions, man. I hope everybody loves it. After these 3 versions are out, I'm done with that song. Like that song's gonna live the way it is after that, and we're gonna move on to new stuff. So
I absolutely love as well that you co-produced it, and from where you started off and like having to teach yourself guitar and not coming from a musical background to like where you are today, like writing songs, co-writing, like producing and stuff. That's amazing.
thank you, man. Yeah, it's my grandpa always told me if you want something done right, just do it yourself. And he was right. He was right, man. It is a lot of work doing it all that like this way, but it pays off a lot better. And every song comes out the way that you want it to come out. You can release songs whenever you want. There's its disadvantages, but like it has more advantages in my opinion. Because I'm used to hard work. This still isn't as hard as my old job. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just lucky to be able to do this for a living, honestly, because I understand that the percentage of people that are successful in this is tiny. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the 0.000001 percentile. I always keep that in mind. Like anytime I'm down, like I feel like I'm not where I should be, blah blah. I'm like, dude, you got 2 gold records, man. Like you were doing this, you were singing in the cab of a tractor. Like that's where this started. I wasn't groomed to do this my whole life, like a lot of people. Like I'm just glad to be here,
Absolutely. And you this year, like you've already released new songs like Need Yours and Over the River. So all this new music that we're expecting, how does that differ from like back in 2022 when you were releasing your debut album to the songs you're creating now?
Now it's what I want to do. That's the biggest difference. Every song we put out is because I want to.
Yeah.
Like it's because the whole team agrees. It's not dictated by nothing besides us. Like we all sit down together and decide together. It's not, oh, you have to do this for this, and like if we want to get so and so love, we got to do this and release that. And that's just, it always left a bad taste in my mouth because you got to keep in mind, if I put out a song and I don't like it and it pops, I'm stuck with it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like whenever I'm 50 years old, I'm gonna be singing this stuff, and it's like you don't want all the like I know artists that have hits that they hate, and that sucks. Like that would suck to be stuck with that, because then you become the song. Like it's not the artist. You are identified as the songs. And like because
No,
you don't claim that you love those things. It's just like it's an identity crisis that I do not want to go through. Um, and having the freedom to just do what we want when we want. I record music at a great studio at Waylon Jennings' old estate. It's super inspirational to record music in there, like legendary, man. I'm very blessed to be able to record music there with people that I like. Everybody's my friend. That's the best part about making music is doing it with your friends. Um, but as far as the writing stuff goes too, we got freedom there. I write most of the new stuff that'll be coming out in the next year. I wrote by myself.
right.
Um, so that's definitely different. Um, it's just there's a certain sound that I'm trying to tackle, and it's hard to explain to people. So I kind of just like mess with it myself, and like I get track guys in there every once in a while to help me tackle it. But like it's something like inside of me. I'm like you just need to do this yourself. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff that you'll be hearing in the future is like that. But like Need Yours and Over the River, I wrote those songs a long time ago. I wrote Need Yours on my first writers retreat ever, um, in Destin, Florida, in like 2019.
Right.
But I just didn't relate to it at the time because the song is about like kind of like about sobriety, and I definitely was not sober back then, not even close. So I never really had a time where that song was relevant until recently. So, you know, like to be honest with you, back then I made that story up in that song. So it's almost like I predicted what would happen because I got sober, met my wife, all that stuff. Like, so the song like fit finally. It fit something finally. So that's why I chose to put it out at that time. And then Over the River I wrote 2021, I think. I have 400 or 500 songs in my back catalog. So we'll just
Wow.
sift through them sometimes, and most of them I've forgotten about. So we'll go through like, dang, I forgot about that one. Cool, let's record that. Because I was in a groove of writing 3 or 4 songs a week for like 5 years, and you just can't keep track of all of them sometimes. So we've been picking through the old ones for a while, but I kind of got tired of that. So um, it's good to write music consistently again. I took like a hiatus from it for like a year because I just got burnt. I just needed to breathe from it a little bit. I was like, we got plenty of songs. I'm just gonna like because you can only create so much before you're just burnt.
Yeah.
Like so I'll choose quality over quantity any day. So I just took a breather from it, and as of like a few months ago, probably 6 months ago, I started writing consistently again, and it's going great now. But it's not like riding a bike though. It took a little bit to get back on it, but it's it's finally sparking up again. I feel really good about it, man. It'll be the best stuff. It'll be the best stuff that I've put out, without a doubt, in my opinion.
Oh, well, I can't wait to hear that. And one thing I want to ask you is, so you've been on tour with like Hardy and Morgan Wallen, and became friends with them, and they've offered advice. You met Chris Young in Tin Roof, and he gave you advice one night. What were these
You
sort
know
of?
that.
I've done my research.
Wow, that's like some hardware stuff.
Um, so what was the sort of advice that these artists have given you, like when you were so like at the beginning of your career?
There's a wide range of stuff, man. Everybody's got their own opinions and their own avenues that they've chased, but the most consistent one I feel like is just be authentic. That's why that's why press that so much because I've been told that so many times, and it took me a while to truly understand that. But like I heard it from experienced people so many times, and like the authenticity thing, man, like Hardy being on tour with him, that was a true example of it because he's always just himself. And like he's always been a metalhead. Like on the road, they'd play the show, whole bus would be listening to metal afterwards. Like, and back then that was weird in country music. Like it's normal now, but back then it was like, y'all, like that's not country music, you know? And I always loved like rock, like hard rock and stuff like that too. But I don't like, I wasn't into screaming music like that. So it was different. And he always said that he wanted to do that. Like, he's like, I want to do this for my artist career. Like, eventually, I'd like to do this hard rock stuff and metal. I was like, that's great, man. You should do that. Like, that's what you truly want to do. And he did. And that, like, that's just a true, like, paver of his own road. You know what I'm saying? So I had a good example of him. You know, a few conversations with Morgan helped me a lot about sticking to who you are. Chris Young, that conversation was the same exact thing. There's a consistency to it. So that was the most valuable things I've learned from anybody. Dustin Lynch taught me a lot. Sam Hunt, being on tour with him, Justin Moore, just seeing how his camp operates and seeing him on stage every night, being just unapologetically himself, sticking to his guns with everything. That those guys are good examples for me to follow, you know. So, and most of them I was listening to obsessively whenever I was just a country fan. Like the Small Town USA album by Justin Moore, that was my high school jam. And now I share a stage with these people, and it's just unbelievable. I have a song with Justin Moore. Like my life is just insane. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, what the heck happened? I remember seeing Justin Moore at the county fair whenever I was like 18 years old, and I was just like, man, it's cool, blah, 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 you know, never thinking I'll do it for a living. So
it's absolutely amazing. There's nothing better than hearing the story, like hearing these stories about you living out your dreams with just doing what you want to do.
yeah, the key is just doing it. 99% of people are too scared to do it. And it is scary. But most great things are scary at first. Having a kid is scary at first. Getting married is scary at first. Trust me. Like, I was terrified. But like, it's great. Whenever I first moved here, I was terrified. And like, I don't consider myself to get scared easily, but it was scary, man. Like, and every time I've taken a jump like that in life, good things have happened. It's just, you got to do it though. You know, no matter what anybody says, you just ignore the noise, put the blinders on, and go. Like, that's the key to anything great in life, in my opinion.
No, I think that's some solid advice right there.
I had friends back home tell me I was stupid. Like people that I thought were my friends. Straight up be like, you're stupid, man. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're gonna go write songs for a living? Who's stupid now?
Yeah, exactly. You know? Who's having the last laugh now?
I make a great living doing this stuff. Like, great living. And it's all because I took that jump. So anybody that's listening to this, if you're contemplating taking the jump, you better just do it. Because you're gonna look back one day, whenever you're old, sitting in a rocking chair, and you're gonna regret not doing it. That's a scary thought, man. Like, scary thought, in my opinion.
Well, I know that we're in October at the moment, and there's not like long of the year left, but what are your plans for the rest of the year? I know you've got that EP coming out on the 7th of November, but can we expect any more music apart from that? Can we expect any more shows, or are you just getting ready for a big 2026?
I think we're still going to take a break from shows, man. It's just like whenever you do this independently, like you have to do it in steps. You can't do everything at once because then like I would rather do one thing at a time 100% than do 4 or 5 things 50%, because then that's going to be your result. So I'm just one man trying to do all this, and that's why I kind of took a break from. I played a few shows this year, but not many. It was definitely the least shows I've ever played, but I just needed time to figure out, because it all starts with the music. I needed time to figure that out and like the direction I want to go, because it's a very important time. It's going to be like hopefully writing for my second album, which is the most important album that you're going to drop in your life or in your career. So I've been trying to just hone in on focusing on writing all that so I can get the best product as possible for people that listen to it, for myself, for my family. Like, um, there's two more songs coming out this year after the EP, two more. So it's a busy release schedule. It's one after the other after the other. Like, we keep music coming out, and we're back in the studio in December before everybody takes their Christmas break. And then back again, I think in February. So we're recording heavily right now. And then after that, we have way more to record too. So it's going to be a busy first half of the 2026. And that'll be whenever I get to record a lot of these songs that I've been writing lately. Like the last song of this year that's coming out, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of it yet, but it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written. I wrote it like a few months ago with a couple dudes. I had the title for a long time. I wanted to write it. I just could never like figure out exactly how to land it. But man, it turned out so good. And I put well, you're from the UK. You know who Sleep Token is?
Yeah.
So I listen to Sleep Token a lot. And I was like, I've been saying this for about 2 years now. I'm like, what if you can integrate some of their like drops that they do, like the style of how they like make their drops? It's like gospel build up. I was like, you can put that in country music. It would resonate with like the rock and country, how it's integrated now. And that's my first attempt was in that song. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, man. I'm super excited about it. That's the good thing about doing all this stuff like yourself, is you can just do whatever you want. So we spend hours with trial and error. Does this sound good? Does that sound good? I thought that would sound good, but it doesn't. Um, but with this song, man, like it really resonated and works, and I'm super excited about it, man. That'll be the last song of the year that we drop, but it's definitely honestly my I'm most excited about that drop than any of them. Z71 and all that is great. I dropped that song already 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing these other versions because I would like to own it. It'd be nice. I was like, it'd be nice to own my work, like my creations, because I didn't own any of them before. Like
Yeah.
these songs, I made them up, I wrote them, and I don't like. I'm just making rich people richer from them. So that's why I re-recorded those songs. To be honest with you, like I feel like a lot of people are afraid to say stuff like that, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
We
Well,
we
if
work
you
our butts
wrote it,
off. Like artists work our butts off to make rich people richer, and I'm sick of it. Like sick of it. It's our creations. It's like what it comes out of our brains. So why in the heck are people that don't do it getting richer than us from it? Like what's going on here? So that's kind of the premise behind that. But yeah, man, I'm really excited. Mainly like whenever we get past these releases, it's game on, man. I'm so stoked about it. So stoked. But that's so cool that y'all listen to my music over there, man. That's really cool.
honestly, it's been
I didn't know
like
if y'all
it.
related to it, like come back to bed. Yeah, everybody does that stuff.
Yeah, well, there is in our like in the UK, we do have like countryside, and there is like farms and farmers, and we do have pickup trucks. I mean, I know they're like I know the lifestyles are slightly different, but nowadays I think like even if it's just something in your music that someone resonates to, it might not be that they like live a certain part of a lifestyle or so, but they can just it might not even be like a song about a truck, but it might be like the John Deere song, for example. And they might like that. Because like where I live, it's like
Okay.
rural countryside, and you see tractors, you see John Deere's on the road all the time. So it might be that song that they like listen to
Yeah.
and be like, listen to more of like Sean's music, find it great. But yeah, honestly, would love to come like for you to come across and play some shows.
I would love to as well. We'll have to get that worked out. I've never had food from over there. I don't even know what y'all eat over there. Like, I know tea is popular. I've never been a
Yeah,
big tea guy, but I'll
good fish
try.
and chips.
Fish and chips. Is
Yeah,
it like not potato chips?
no,
Like
like fries, but like chunky
fries.
fries. Like yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I can be down with
um,
that.
yeah,
I like that.
but yeah, and yeah, but it's great. So, but it's been a real pleasure speaking to you today, Sean. Like hearing your
Too.
story, hearing about the like music, and we're really excited to see what the rest of the year in 2026 got in store for you.
Thank you. We're excited as well, man. We hope y'all I speak on behalf of my whole team because it's not just me that does it. It's they put in hours of work every day for me. So we're all really excited to see how everybody likes it, including y'all across the world. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, man.